In today's world, it seems like there's always more information and less time. So if you want people to listen, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, whether it's news, advertising, or a business presentation. For example, I've got an important meeting coming up. I'm going to make a presentation with handouts about my company's quarterly sales. This spreadsheet shows the quarterly sales information I need to present. Here it is on my screen. All the facts are here, but for a presentation, this spreadsheet is, well, boring. This spreadsheet contains the same information, but I've improved the spreadsheet's appearance and impact with the 1-2-3 WYSIWYG feature. Obviously, this is the one I should use for my presentation and my handouts. And by the end of this tape, you'll be able to create great-looking spreadsheets too using the 1-2-3 WYSIWYG feature. The WYSIWYG feature is a spreadsheet publishing program. WYSIWYG stands for What You See is What You Get. This means that you can see right on your screen what the spreadsheet printout will look like. And it gives you lots of ways to improve the look of your spreadsheet. With WYSIWYG, you can change the size and style of your text, use boldface and italics, and add enhancements like lines and shading. You can also add graphs to your spreadsheets, and even customize graphs to emphasize key information. All this makes for spreadsheets that are appealing and impressive. You'll be surprised at how easy it is to go from this to this. I'm going to assume you know how to use 1-2-3 to enter information, make formulas, and do some basic layout and formatting. In this videotape, you'll learn how to use the spreadsheet publishing power of WYSIWYG. You'll see how easy it is to use and how quickly you'll be able to put WYSIWYG to work on your own spreadsheet projects. You'll learn how to attach the WYSIWYG add-in, use WYSIWYG menus, change font size and style, boldface text, italicize text, add color to text, add lines and shading, add a graph to a spreadsheet, customize a graph, use the zoom feature, and print a spreadsheet. Let's get started. I've already started 1-2-3. I'm using release 2.3. If you have release 3.1 or 3.1 plus, this videotape will work fine for you too. Your screen may look a little different, but you'll use WYSIWYG in the same way, no matter what release of 1-2-3 you have. WYSIWYG is an add-in program that comes with 1-2-3. An add-in program is a mini program that adds extra features to your software. In this case, the WYSIWYG add-in provides spreadsheet publishing features. Add-in programs, like WYSIWYG, help you use memory more efficiently because you load the add-in into the computer's memory, or RAM, only when you need to use it. When you're done using the add-in, you can remove it from memory, freeing up valuable memory for other tasks. To use an add-in, you first have to load it into the computer's memory. This is called attaching the add-in. We'll attach WYSIWYG now. If you have release 3.1 or 3.1 plus, you'll attach WYSIWYG a little differently. See your 1-2-3 manual for more information. To attach the WYSIWYG add-in, we select Add-in from the main menu and then Attach. 1-2-3 prompts us for the name of the add-in we want and displays a list of subdirectories. We select the 1-2-3 subdirectory and the WYSIWYG add-in. 1-2-3 lets us assign a function key to an add-in as a shortcut for starting or invoking the add-in. We'll assign the F7 function key by selecting 7. The WYSIWYG add-in is now attached and starts automatically. As you can see, the WYSIWYG screen looks a lot like the 1-2-3 screen we started out with. Since WYSIWYG is attached and we're done with the add-in menu, we'll select Quit. When you attach WYSIWYG like this, it stays attached as long as you work with 1-2-3. But when you quit the program, WYSIWYG is detached, and the next time you use 1-2-3, you'll need to attach WYSIWYG again. To make using WYSIWYG more convenient and efficient, you can set up the WYSIWYG add-in to attach automatically every time you start 1-2-3. To create this default setting from the 1, 2, 3 menu, we select Worksheet, Global, and Default. Then we select Other, Add-in, and Set. This is our first automatic attachment, so with the highlight on 1, we press Enter. Then we select the WYSIWYG add-in just like we did when we attached it earlier. 1, 2, 3 asks if we want to invoke or start the add-in automatically whenever we start 1, 2, 3. We select Yes, and WYSIWYG is now set up to attach automatically. 1, 2, 3 asks if we want to set another add-in to auto-attach. We don't, so we select Quit. We want to update our default settings so they're saved on disk, so we select Update. We're done with this menu, so we select Quit. Now, each time we start 1, 2, 3, WYSIWYG will attach and start automatically. If the WYSIWYG screen is already displayed when you start 1, 2, 3, then this auto-attaching has already been set up on your computer. Whichever way you start WYSIWYG, you can still use the familiar 1, 2, 3 commands as well as the WYSIWYG features. We'll retrieve our spreadsheet file by displaying the 1, 2, 3 menu and selecting File and Retrieve. We highlight the file name and press Enter. With WYSIWYG, you see just how the spreadsheet will look when you print it. Now let's use the WYSIWYG features to improve the appearance of this spreadsheet. The WYSIWYG features are all selected from the WYSIWYG menu, which you use just like the 1, 2, 3 menu. And you use WYSIWYG features with the same steps you use for regular 1, 2, 3 features. First, position the cell pointer where you want to make the changes. Second, select the feature you want to use. Third, select the range where you want to make the changes. And fourth, complete the change. Let's make the font changes first. A font is a particular size and style of type. We want to make the company name larger by using a larger font. We begin with the first step, positioning the cell pointer on the company name. For the second step, selecting the feature we want to use, we display the WYSIWYG main menu by typing a colon. The WYSIWYG menu displays, and the mode indicator in the upper right-hand corner of the screen reads WYSIWYG. Using a different font changes the formatting of our spreadsheet, so we select Format and Font. The font dialog box is displayed. A dialog box displays when the computer needs information to complete a command. A dialog box also shows the current settings for the command. The font currently set for the company name is Swiss 12 point. This is the default font for WYSIWYG. We'll use Swiss 24 point, so we select number 3. 1, 2, 3 asks for the range, the third step in the process. We only need to change this cell, so this is the correct range. For the fourth step, completing the change, we just press Enter. The company name is now bigger. Notice that formatting information, in this case the font name and size, is displayed in the cell address line in the control panel. Next, we'll make the numbers on the spreadsheet the same size, but a different font style. First, we position the cell pointer at the first number. Second, we select the WYSIWYG menu, Format, Font, and the font we want. Dutch 12 point, which is the font number 7. Third, we select the range of the numbers in the spreadsheet. And fourth, we press Enter. The spreadsheet numbers are now formatted in the Dutch font. That looks better. Next, we'll format the row headings with bold facing. This change is easy. The process is nearly the same as the font procedure. We move the cell pointer to the first row heading and then select the WYSIWYG menu and Format. We select Bold and Set. We select the range of row headings and press Enter. The row headings are bold-faced, and the cell address information in the control panel shows bold formatting. Italicizing the spreadsheet title would set it apart from the company name. We move the cell pointer, select Format, Italics, and Set. The range is only this cell, so we press Enter. The title is italicized. The spreadsheet text is just about the way we want it. Now let's add some color, and this time we'll make the WYSIWYG changes using the mouse. We can use the mouse for each of the 4 steps in making changes, moving the cell pointer, selecting the menu choices, selecting a range, and completing the change. If you want to do this on your computer and you don't have a mouse, don't worry. Just use your keyboard as we've been doing up to now. Let's use the mouse to make the company name a dark blue. First, we click on the company name. Second, to display a menu with the mouse, we move the mouse pointer into the control panel. The WYSIWYG main menu is displayed because this is the last menu system we used. If we had last used the 1, 2, 3 main menu, that menu would have displayed. To switch between main menus with the mouse, we just click the right mouse button. To change the color of the company name text to dark blue, we click on Format, Color, Text, and Dark Blue. The range is correct, so we click the left mouse button. The company name is displayed dark blue. You can see what a difference color can make to your spreadsheets. The formatting information for this cell address now shows both the font and the color. If your printer prints in black and white, you won't get any colors when you print this spreadsheet. But if you have a color printer, or if you do a presentation from the computer screen, using color in your spreadsheet will give it more pizzazz. Now that we've made all the changes to the text of the spreadsheet, let's add some lines and shading to improve the look of the spreadsheet and to highlight important information. We'll start by underlining the range of column headings, and we'll pre-select the range, meaning we'll select the range before we select the feature. It's sometimes convenient to pre-select a range in step 1 before selecting the feature in step 2, because then 1, 2, 3 automatically completes the procedure. Steps 3 and 4 are unnecessary. To pre-select the range of column headings with the mouse, we click and hold on the first column heading, then drag to select the rest of the column headings. If you want to do this on your own computer and you don't have a mouse, just use your keyboard as we've been doing. In the next procedure, you'll learn how to pre-select a range using the keyboard. With the column headings selected, we display the WYSIWYG menu and select Format and Underline. We want a single line underneath each heading, so we select Single, and 1, 2, 3 completes the procedure. Because we pre-selected a range, the range prompt didn't display, and we didn't have to press Enter to complete the procedure. The column headings are underlined and still highlighted because when you pre-select a range, it stays selected until you move the cell pointer. This is useful when you want to do more than one thing to a range. For instance, let's outline the column totals and shade them in. We'll pre-select the range once and then make both changes. And this time, we'll pre-select the range with the keyboard. To pre-select a range with the keyboard, first we move the cell pointer to the beginning of the range. Then we press the F4 function key. This anchors the beginning of the range, just like the period key anchors a range. 1, 2, 3 asks for the range we want to pre-select, and the mode indicator shows Point. We move the cell pointer to the end of the range and press Enter. The range is pre-selected. Now we'll make the changes using the keyboard. We display the WYSIWYG menu and select Format. We want to outline the range, so we select Lines and Outline. The column totals are outlined. The range is still selected, so to shade the column totals, we display the WYSIWYG menu again and select Format and Shade. We want light shading, so we select Light. The range is now shaded as well as outlined. Notice that the formatting information in the control panel shows the font, the first shading choice, and the letters LTB. LTB means that the cell has lines on the left, top, and bottom. When I move the cell pointer, we can see the outlining and shading more clearly. With pre-selecting, you can make changes to a range faster and easier. Our spreadsheet is really taking shape now. These changes to the spreadsheet make it much better looking and easier to read. But we want more than readable information. We want something more visual, more graphic, something that makes an impact and shows clearly what this information means. A graph would do the trick. Let's add a graph of this information below the spreadsheet. Adding a graph with WYSIWYG is easy. I've already created a 3D bar graph of the sales information using 123's graphing features. If you want to add a graph on your own computer, you should first create a graph of this information without any of the totals and name the graph. To add the graph with WYSIWYG, you follow the same 4 steps we've been using. First, position the cell pointer where you want the graph to go. Second, select the graph you want. Third, select the range for the graph. And fourth, complete the process. We'll begin by positioning the cell pointer where we want the graph to go, below the spreadsheet information. We then display the WYSIWYG menu and select Graph and Add. Since we're using a named graph, we select Named. We highlight the graph we want, the quarterly summary graph, and press Enter. For the third step, we press the period key to anchor the range, then select the range for the graph. To complete the process, we press Enter. The graph is now displayed right on the spreadsheet. Notice the graph name in the cell address line in the control panel. I also noticed that we made the graph range too small. Changing the size of a graph range setting is easy. Since the WYSIWYG graph menu is still displayed, we simply select Settings and Range. The prompt asks which graphic we want to change, since we could have more than one graph on the spreadsheet. We tell the computer which graph we want to change by making sure the cell pointer is in the graph range. The cell address information shows the cell pointer is in the graph range, so we press Enter. The graph range is highlighted. We simply use the arrow keys to make the range bigger and press Enter. That's better. The graph is now bigger and more readable. Since we're done with the Settings menu, we select Quit. Even though the graph is bigger, it still isn't completely readable on the screen. This isn't a problem because when we print it, it will be clear and readable. But if you want to see the graph more clearly, you can use the Graph Zoom feature. The Zoom feature displays the graph full screen like a camera zoom that makes things appear larger. Here's how. We display the WYSIWYG menu and select Graph and Zoom. The cell pointer is in the graph range, so we press Enter. Now you can clearly see the graph detail. To get back to the spreadsheet display, we just press Escape. We're done with the WYSIWYG graph menu, so we select Quit. Adding a graph to the spreadsheet will definitely give our presentation more impact. One of the great features about using WYSIWYG to add a named graph to a worksheet is that if worksheet information changes, the graph will change automatically. We've just received some updated sales information which we need to add to the spreadsheet. We type the updated figure for CD sales in June. When we press Enter, the graph changes automatically to reflect the new sales figure. You can see that in June, CD sales were higher than tape sales for the first time. To draw attention to this for our presentation, we'll put the words CDs outsell tapes in a brightly colored shape with an arrow pointing to the bar for June CD sales. We'll make these graph edits with the WYSIWYG Graph Edit feature, and for these procedures, let's use the mouse. We first position the cell pointer in the graph range. Then we display the WYSIWYG menu and select Graph and Edit. The cell pointer is in the graph range, so we click the left mouse button. The Graph Edit screen is displayed. With this screen, you can add lines, shapes, and text to a graph, change colors, and make a lot of other graphic changes. We'll start by adding an ellipse or oval shape to the graph. We select Add and Ellipse. When you add shapes to a graph, the screen prompts you to draw a box that sets the size of the shape. The screen also shows location coordinates for the pointer. We move the pointer to where we want the first corner of the box to be. We click and hold, then drag the pointer, stretching the box to the size we want, and release. The ellipse is displayed. The square blocks on the ellipse are handles. The handles display on the currently selected object in the graph. They show that the object can be changed or deleted, and the handles can also be used to move the object. Let's move the object closer to the June bars on the graph. we click and hold on one of the handles and drag the object. The pointer changes to a hand and the box outline reappears. When the object is in position, we release the mouse button. The ellipse is now moved. To fill in the ellipse with a color, we select Color and Inside. A palette of colors is displayed. We select a bright yellow and the ellipse is filled in. Now we'll add text to the ellipse. We select Add and Text. At the prompt, we type CDs, outsell, tapes. When we press Enter, the text appears in the upper left corner of the graph, and the prompt reads, Place Text. We place the text in the ellipse and click. The text is now displayed with handles showing that it is a separate object which you could move, change, or delete if you wanted to. The final thing we'll add to this graph is an arrow running from the ellipse to the bar that shows June CD sales. We select Add and Arrow. We move the pointer to where we want the arrow to begin and click. Then we move the pointer to where we want the arrow to point and double-click. Now, this information really stands out. We're done editing the graph, so we select Quit. The spreadsheet is now complete and ready for presentation. We've made the information more readable and attractive and added a graph for a strong visual message with emphasis on the most important information. Let's print the spreadsheet, but first let's save it to the hard disk. All the changes we've made are currently only in the computer's memory. If the computer loses power or is accidentally shut off, all the work would be lost. We'll save the spreadsheet with the familiar 1, 2, 3 saving procedure. We display the 1, 2, 3 menu and select File and Save. At the File Name prompt, we press Enter and then select Replace. The file is saved. Now we'll print the spreadsheet. The printer is set up and ready to go. We need to use the WYSIWYG print feature because the 1, 2, 3 print command won't print the WYSIWYG enhancements. We display the WYSIWYG menu and select Print. The WYSIWYG print setting dialog box is displayed. The only thing we have to set for this spreadsheet is the print range. We select Range and Set. We move the pointer to A1, anchor the range with the period key, highlight the spreadsheet range, and press Enter. Then we select Go. A broken line shows our print range, and the status of our printing is displayed as the printer prints the spreadsheet. This is how the spreadsheet printed on my color printer. If you have a black and white printer, it will look like this. Comparing either of these printouts to the original spreadsheet, you can see what kind of difference WYSIWYG can make. And these features are quick and easy to use. Look how much you learned in just this short time. You learned how to attach the WYSIWYG add-in, use WYSIWYG menus, change font size and style, boldface text, italicize text, add color to text, add lines and shading, add a graph to a spreadsheet, customize a graph, use the zoom feature, and print a spreadsheet. Now you can put the power of WYSIWYG to work for you.